This is a quick overview of the differences between the CyberScribe CMS version 4.2.0 and the newer version 4.7.3. So what you'll see right off the bat is the dashboard has been redesigned, making it a little bit easier to use. Got a couple of additional features on the new dashboard. Better integration with Google Analytics, a few new items on the dashboard like the ability to back up your site manually, site tester that you can use to see if there are any errors on your site that you might want to address. Much better Google Analytics integration, things like your page views, your visits over the last few months, keywords, which is a lot less useful now that Google's hiding those, top pages by desktop, top pages via mobile, new and returning visitors, and things like visitors by device. You see you guys are looking at 34% of your visits over the last 3 months have been on Android. That's interesting. And of course other things like demographic, where people are located, where your visitors, most of your visitors are located. Some of the other differences that you'll see on the interior of the CMS, things have been sped up a little bit, but most of what you'll see are some improvements in usability. For example, on the Pages tab, if you have a lot of pages on your site on the old CMS, you see it loads very slowly, and that's been improved on the new version. But you also see this old-timey page tree, and you just have to keep scrolling and scrolling. It's hard to find different pages. On the new CMS, we'll go over here to the Pages tab. You see how much more quickly it loaded. Has a few things like you can just find out a few things about your site, like how many pages you have, how many are active, how many are inactive. But you also have this page tree, so we can see here a lot of pages under this one. We can collapse or grow this to find the pages that we need to find or hide. Just makes editing pages a lot easier. We also have this search feature, which is really nice. We can go and search, and now we searched for calendar and we found calendar. You'll see on the editing buttons over here, you used to have a few options here. You have a couple of additional options now, such as we can copy. It's not showing up right now, but you can also copy pages. That's an option you didn't used to have. So when you go to edit a page on the site, we'll just pick any page here. What you'll see, this hasn't changed a lot. You do have a much newer version of this WYSIWYG editor on the new CMS. Much nicer to use. It has some additional features such as templates, little templates, mini templates that we can put in there. So hey, you want to put a rounded box, you don't have to do any coding. You can just select rounded box, hit insert, and change that text in there. You can also, excuse that for a sec, you can also do things, really special things. You could do like information callouts, pre-formatted information callouts. Of course, those would be formatted to match your site. Practice situation callouts, where you could have questions and answers if you wanted to, and to the user they would click this and then the answer would slide down and be revealed. So there's a lot of power here that allows you to pre-format content or features in your content without any coding knowledge. Just much easier to use. Other things that if you do want to do some custom coding, your CSS is much easier in this new. You can change styles and fonts and things like that, although you wouldn't want to do that much. You want to keep things uniform, and a much easier integration with video. So Vimeo, YouTube, all you do is copy the URL, pop it in here, hit insert, and you've got a video on your page. A couple of other new items that are not in your old system. You can show a file list on a page from any folder in your file library. So let's say that your kids are going on, say Revolution's going on a trip, and there are 4 or 5 different forms they have to fill out. All you would do is drop those in a folder in the file library, and then just say, hey, I want you to show all the files that are in that folder, in that file library, and they'll show up. They'll automatically be listed in a pre-formatted list on this page, so you don't have to go and link to each one individually. You also have the option of, depending on your design, of attaching a large background image, which I'll show you a little bit later, but each page can have its own unique background image. And of course you have the other options too, a little more power in this one. Here's an additional content area, whereas before you only had the option for 2. We also have the ability to add custom fields in the new CMS, much easier than what was in the old CMS. Okay, moving along, Forms hasn't changed a lot, just been improved. Have a little wider area here. You are going to be able to export entries now, so any form entries that are filled out, you'll be able to export to a CSV file, which that's a feature that was not complete. And even though the button was there, it was not complete in this old version of the CMS. Actually, the form builder has been greatly improved and has a few new features. You'll see here you had drag and drop before, but if we run over here to Forms and go to Form Builder, we're just going to have a look. Some of the new features, you see you have some additional options over here like headers and HTML text. One thing that's really neat is the auto reply email. So I can set this up to automatically send a reply back to anybody who submits to this form. So for example, if I had an inquiry for a specific, I said, hey, I want to know more about this I Love My Church series that's coming up. This autoresponder could send an automatic reply back after a certain number of days, say after 2 days later, or it could send it back right away if you wanted to. And you can put as many of these as you want. You can have a follow-up at 1 day, 2 days, 2 months, whatever you wanted. It would just automatically send that email back out to that person who submitted that form to you. It's kind of a cool feature there that is not on the old CMS. Slideshows have been replaced with what we call promotions. Now you do have the option for slideshows, but almost everybody just gets promotions. And if we go to promotions, it's pretty similar. You still have start and stop dates, but one thing that's different here is that in promotions you can actually track the number of clicks that each image has in the slideshow. So you can kind of see, kind of do usability and kind of see what people are really interested in and what kind of graphics that they're interested in clicking on and what's being most effective. So some other improvements in the CMS. These options here, these are apps that you guys probably will not use, but a huge improvement here is when we go out to view, edit the site. So we're going to take on the old CMS, we're going to go out and view the site, and you'll see here you have the real site. If you're logged in, you'll have this little tiny toolbar here with some options of things that you can do, like go to the CMS or make this page inactive. In the new CMS, and this is really, especially if you're a visual type person, this helps a lot. We have the smart editing bar down here at the bottom now. So this detects what is on a page and then gives you options. So on this page it says, well, we can edit the page because it's a regular CMS page, and we can do things like we can go back to the Pages tab. In some systems, depending on how you configure, we can put the page up for review. We can make it inactive. So all the options are related to pages are here. Also, it's much easier to add a file to the file library. So let's say I'm getting ready to edit this page. Well, I need to upload a photo to go to this page. I just add a file. When I hit save, it's going to take me right back here where then I can go edit the page. Now it detects as a slideshow here. So you'll see I have the option to go to that, to go to promotions and edit the slideshow directly from here. No longer do I have to go back into the CMS and find where this slideshow is. It also has, this particular test page has a quotes feature on it, which you guys probably will not have, but it also detects any forms that are on the page. Like this little form here, it's saying, okay, well, you may want to go view those test form entries, or you may want to go edit that form, or you may want to edit the, go to the page that users see after they submit a form. And this is a big improvement in the workflow. You don't have to remember what was the name of that page that they see after the form, so if you want to go change your thank you message, you can do it really easily. Here's an example of just a basic, this is that file list that I mentioned a while ago. So there are 2 files in this folder in the library, and they're just automatically shown up here with links, so I could click those and open those up. The great thing about this is that if I update this file in the file library, this link is automatically updated, so it really creates a much easier workflow for your web editors. Some other additional features here. The search is much stronger than it used to be and a little more customizable, but that's it in a nutshell. One of the things people like too is that the smart edit bar, again, which detects items on particular pages. So you can see these are all different items down here now. It detected that there's photo albums here, so it'll say one of the options, go to album and edit those. And the smart edit bar, you can change the location of that depending on how your site's set up or what you prefer. That's just totally up to the user, and it remembers that. If you dock it at the bottom, it's going to dock at the bottom from now on until you move it. Other additional features here, you have the options, a few more powerful options. So we can have that supersized background where an image could be your background. That I showed you before how that could be added. You can also have some other things like some cool roundabouts and sliders. You're not limited to what we were before. Here's another example of a slider that you could use on your home page if you want to do something cool like that. So we have more options than we had before, and all that just depends on the design that you want to go with. You may or may not use that. But that's a quick overview of some of the items that you'll see different in the new version of the CMS. So in a nutshell, redesigned wider interface so you see more information in the CMS when you're in the CMS. Additional options and features like Site Tester and Site Backup, improved Google Analytics integration, and a much easier editing process for your editors and your content administrators. So if you have any questions, just give me a call and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks.